Begin by standing in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Take a moment here to feel your connection to the earth as you press through all corners of your feet. Root through your feet as you make your spine long through your crown. Close your eyes and center yourself, focusing on the heart. After you have centered yourself, inhale and lift your arms to the sky as you reach through your fingers. Reach them towards the back of the room, creating a slight back bend. Exhale, hinge from your hips as you fold forward, bending your knees slightly and releasing your palms down to the mat. Release your head as well. Take 3 deep breaths here. Anchor through your heels as you slowly lift from your hips and slide your palms up your legs for halfway lift, keeping your neck long and lengthening your spine. Exhale, slightly bend your knees as you plant your hands down. Inhale, step your left foot back and then the other into high plank or half plank by releasing your knees onto the mat. Release everything onto the mat as you lower your chest and chin down to the mat. Inhale into Cobra as you ground through your palms, lift through your chest and your heart while grounding your pelvis to the mat. Exhale, release your chest down. Tuck your toes as you push the ground away from you and send your tailbone up and back into downward facing dog. Take 4 breaths here. Notice the sensations you feel in your hamstrings. Pedal your feet. Shake your head, yes or no. Just taking a moment to connect. It's okay if your heels don't touch the mat at this point in your practice. I invite you to take a slight bend in your knees instead. Breathing deep. When you're ready, inhale, look up to your palms. Step your right foot and then the other to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Releasing your arms, releasing your neck. Now slowly roll yourself up, lengthening through your spine. The last thing to come up is your crown. Inhale. Lift your arms up and reach through your fingertips. Flex your toes. Slightly bend your back. Exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. Take 2 breaths here. On your next exhale, slowly hinge from your hips again as you slightly bend your knees and swan dive your hands down to the mat. Inhale to plant your hands on the mat and send your left foot and then your right foot back into either a half plank or a high plank. Hugging your thighs toward your midline, your feet are untucked, the tops of them against the mat. And slowly, using your elbows, lower your chest and chin down to the ground. Inhale, anchor your palms and lift your chest up, curving the spine and coming into cobra. Exhale, release your heart back down, tuck your toes and push the ground away as you send your tailbone up and back into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here to center yourself. On your next inhale, look up to the top of your mat. Anchor through your right foot as you lift your left leg up. Exhale, bring your left foot to the top of your mat and then your other foot, coming into forward fold. Inhale, roll yourself up, lengthening through your spine and lifting through the crown as you lift your arms up for mountain pose, reaching the fingertips towards the back of the room for again a slight back bend. And then exhale. Swan dive your arms. Inhale, roll yourself up, lengthening your spine and lifting through the crown as you lift your arms up for mountain pose. Reach through the fingertips. Take one big inhale and exhale here. Exhale, swan dive your hands down to the mat with a slight bend in your knees. Inhale, step your left foot and then your right foot back into high plank, hugging your thighs into your midline. Inhale, this time into upward facing dog, lowering your chest to the ground and then lifting through your heart, drawing your shoulders up and back as your knees come off the mat. Exhale, ground through your palms as you push your tailbone and your hips up and back into downward facing dog. I invite you to take 6 breaths here, or you can modify with a child's pose as you ground yourself again. Pulling your shoulders away from your ears, release your neck. Pedal your feet out again here, and notice any different sensations from when you first started doing your downward facing dogs in the practice. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Lift your right leg up and then step it to the top of your mat. Then step your other foot forward. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale your hands back down to heart center as we come again into mountain pose. Now, coming into palm tree pose. On your next inhale, lift your arms up again. This time your palms facing forward. Your heart and your spine, your crown are lifted, and your tailbone is tucked under. As you bring your palms together, interlock your fingers and push to turn your palms upwards. I invite you to remain here for 3 breaths. Shoulders roll back, arms and fingers are active. Exhale. Release your fingers and your arms down to your side. Come to stand at the middle of your mat for sunflower pose. Slowly heel-toe your feet a little more than hip distance apart, toes facing outward. Ground your feet to the floor and take a moment to stabilize yourself. Using your core, inhale, lengthen through your spine. Reach your arms up to the sky, palms facing each other. Stay here for about 4 breaths, taking a moment to create space between the shoulders. Palm tree pose. Keeping your heart lifted, deep inhale and exhales here. Exhale, release your fingers and your arms down to your sides. Come to stand at the middle of your mat. And exhale. Release your hands down to your hips. Turn your feet, making sure that your toes are now facing forward, hip width apart. Stand here for about 6 breaths, feeling the sensation of space being created in your middle back. On your next exhale, moving into intense leg stretch pose, slowly, compassionately hinge from your hips, lengthening the spine to the crown as you bring your heart forward, your hands still on your hips. Take a moment to breathe into this pose. Breathe and stay in intense leg stretch pose for 6 breaths. You can modify by slightly bending your knees. breaths, exhale. Slowly release your hands down to the mat. Stay here for about 4 breaths. I invite you to grab opposite ankles or simply just stay in this position, enjoying the stretch. Releasing your neck, releasing your shoulders. Keeping your core engaged. Inhale. Slowly walk your hands over your left foot while turning the left foot toward the top of your mat and keeping the other facing forward. Coming into triangle pose, so your left foot is at a 45-degree angle while your right foot is at a 90-degree angle. Root your left palm next to the outside of your left foot. Lifting from the base of the spine, engage your navel as you inhale. Lift your right arm up. Slowly turn your gaze towards the sky. Your shoulders gently stacked above each other. Stay here for 6 breaths. Feel the stretch in your lower back and breathe. Repeating triangle pose on the other side, release your right arm down. Slowly turn your left foot forward at a 90-degree angle so that both feet face forward. As you walk your hands to the center, lift your arms up to your sides on an inhale. Turn your right foot at a 45-degree angle. As if your right arm is being pulled by a string, reach it forward using your core, hinging at the hips to bring your right palm down to the neck to the outside of your right foot. Your left arm slowly lifts up to the sky along with your gaze. Take 6 breaths here, appreciating the sensations you feel all throughout your body. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist just a little bit further. Keeping your heart lifted. Breathing deeply. Exhale, release your left arm down to the mat. Walk both your hands to center, shifting both feet forward. Now slowly rise by lifting both arms up to your shoulders. Take a moment to breathe here for 3 breaths. On an exhale, come into extended side angle pose. Shift your left foot so that it's at a 90 degree angle, while pivoting your right foot 20 degrees inward. Hinging from your hips, just like in triangle pose, reach your left arm forward, lengthening your torso and your side body until your left palm is grounded beside your left foot on the mat. Or you can take a variation and rest your left forearm on your left thigh while your right arm reaches forward, gaze looking past the right fingers, coming into extended side angle pose. Take a moment to settle into the pose. Maybe your left knee bends a little more, engaging your core, lengthening your torso. Stay here for 6 breaths. Being mindful, keeping your heart always lifted. From extended side angle pose, engage your navel, anchor your left foot down, and bring your right arm down to your shoulders, and then release your left arm down. Inhale, rise your left arm up and back and raising your right arm, lengthening your torso for a reverse warrior. Left feet are facing forward, right foot facing inward. Sure your knee doesn't go past your ankle. Take 4 breaths here. Reaching those fingertips towards the back of the room, being mindful of every movement, every sensation in your back. Inhale deep. Slowly and compassionately, breathe with your body. Breathe into your torso first. With an exhale, move a little deeper into the pose. Being mindful not to put too much weight on your knees. Reach your fingertips towards the back of the room for a gentle back bend. Your right arm goes below your right calf, or as far as you can reach it. On the next inhale, flow your left and then right arm down for warrior 2. Ribs lifting, heart always lifting. Then, from your tailbone, lift your chest forward as you pivot your right foot inward and raise your arms up for warrior 1. Take a moment to breathe here. As you exhale, I invite you to slightly bend your left leg a little further. Tuck your tailbone under and take 4 breaths here. From warrior 1, flow your palms down, framing your left foot. Inch your foot about an inch towards the left to further balance yourself. Your shoulders are over your wrists. Then send your left foot back to meet your right foot for a high plank. Take about 2 breaths here, and then send your hips back for downward facing dog. Take 6 deep breaths here, releasing your neck, taking any movement that feels good. Noticing again how different that your body feels. When you're ready, anchor through your left foot as you lift your right leg up. Inhale, bend your right knee, and then bring your right foot to the top of your mat as you frame your foot with your palms. Inhale, rise. Lift your heart up and forward as you raise your arms up for Warrior One. Bend your knees gently and take 4 deep breaths here. On an exhale, release your arms and pivot your left heel to the right for Warrior Two pose. Your shoulders relax. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, create space. Your gaze is facing forward. Looking past your fingertips. Then on an inhale, move into extended side angle on the other side. Float your right arm down to frame your right foot, or take a variation and rest your right forearm on your bent leg while you reach with your left arm. Lengthen your spine and shine your heart forward, lengthening your side waist. Breathe here for 4 breaths. On an exhale, raise your left arm up and back as you take a gentle back bend into reverse warrior pose, reaching your fingertips towards the back of the room, being mindful and compassionate with your movement. Raise your heart. From reverse warrior, float your arms down to the mat into high plank, and tucking the toes, send your hips back for downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Then bend your knees as you slowly lift your toes to take weight off your knees and bring them down to the mat, and slowly root your tailbone down and back until your belly touches the mat, coming into child's pose. Take 6 breaths here. out your back and your palms. Take a couple more breaths here. From Child's Pose, I invite you to move into Cobra. Lengthen and lift from your heart. With your elbows bending, plant both palms onto the mat, lowering your chest and chin. Then push the earth away with your heart as you lift your chest up into Cobra. Exhale, release up and back into Child's Pose. Take 2 more breaths here. From here, move into Camel Pose by kneeling on the mat, bringing both knees hip-width apart. Tuck your toes under as you bring both hands to your low back, being careful not to put too much strain on your lower back. Keep bringing your breath to your torso. If you like, you can also place a thin blanket beneath your knees so that it doesn't become too uncomfortable. Keep your chest lifted, noticing the space in between your shoulders, pulling them closer towards each other. Drawing the shoulders together, feel the collarbone widen. Feel your chest widen. Keep breathing here for 6 breaths. This camel pose variation. Inhale, reach your left arm, then your right arm down towards your ankles. Feel your chest widening. If this is too much, stay here in camel variation with your hands on your low back. If you do have your hands on your ankles, lift the left arm up while your gaze remains towards the ceiling and keep your right arm still. Then do the same for the other side, keeping your chest lifted. Breathe. Keeping your chest strong, leading from your heart. Release your arms and slowly use your breath to gently rise. Bring your torso back up. Float your arms down to the mat and come into tabletop position with your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Breathe here for a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming into cat-cow. Inhale, expand. Lift your heart forward as you lift and arch your tailbone. Your gaze faces upwards. And exhale, draw your ribs in as you feel your back loosen, your chin draws inward. Take 4 breaths here. Come back into tabletop position. Inch your knees a little more towards each other. And moving into Cobra, lower your knees and then your chest down to the mat. Then rise, slowly lifting your chest off the mat, rooting your pelvic floor down. Breathe. And release. Lower yourself down completely for a reversed corpse pose variation. Turn your head first to the right, relaxing your neck and any tension in your shoulders. Your arms are by your sides. Your palms should be facing up. Now feel the release in your lower back, your hamstrings. Stay here for 8 long, deep breaths. When you're ready, with your eyes closed, inhale, turn your head to the other side, arms still by your side. Stay here for 6 breaths, taking a moment to connect with your breath and the sensations in your body as you relax every single part of your body. Breathe here for 8 deep breaths. On an inhale, I invite you to move into one-legged bow pose by lifting your leg and bringing your right hand down to meet your left leg. Do the same for the other side, breathing with each moment, with each movement. Then, when you're ready, inhale and reach for both your feet, drawing your shoulder blades in first. Stay here for 4 breaths. Feel your collarbones broaden and breathe into your lower back, while being careful not to put too much strain on the knees or shoulders. Again, leading with your heart. Take 4 deep breaths here in bow pose. Inhale, exhale, release your knees down to the mat once again, taking a child's pose. Inhale, come into kneel on the mat. Bringing your tailbone down, stay in child's pose for a couple breaths. Now, inhale, come to kneel on the mat, and gently sitting on your untucked feet, take a moment to breathe for Thunderbolt pose. Lengthen your spine all the way up to your crown. Place your hands on your knees. If this is too much, you can still stay in child's pose and breathe here for 4 breaths. Staying in this pose, I invite you to take a cat-cow. Inhale, lift your heart up while arching your back. Breathe deep. Gaze towards the ceiling. Loosen the neck. Exhale, soften the ribs and draw your chest and navel in for cat. Soften your shoulders, breathe deep. Take 4 breaths here as you come into cat and then cow. When you're ready, release the pose and come to a seated position by crossing your legs. Take a moment to breathe. Then, Bring your left arm down to your heart, taking your palms and bringing them right to heart center, while bringing the right index and thumb together into a mudra, letting the rest of the fingers relax. Take a moment here to connect with your heart as we move through a short meditation. Close your eyes. Inhale, breathe deep. Exhale, release. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come to lie down on your back with both your knees bent. Using your hands or fingertips, grab your toes or your feet or the outsides of your feet for happy baby pose. Inhale deep and then rock side to side, taking 6 long relaxing breaths here. And release your feet. Hug your knees to your chest, keeping your chin tucked. Give yourself love. Thanking yourself for this practice. Exhale, release your feet and your legs back down. Come to lie down into corpse pose, Shavasana. Stay here as you release. Feel the energy as it moves through your body. Relax your legs. Relax your toes and your feet. to relax your neck, your shoulders. Relax your eyes. Just let everything go. Slowly wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands, your fingers, and come up to a seated position. Inhale, rise, lift your arms up, exhale them to your heart center. Thank yourself for this practice. Namaste.